Hi everyone. I am so happy that I'm finally creating content in the form of videos. I know that I have been doing blogging, and I have been sharing a lot of articles on LinkedIn quite a bit. But I always thought that I wanted to take the next step in making sure that my content is reaching a lot of other people who probably are not that active on LinkedIn. So this is the first step in that direction. I hope you like what I bring. To start off with, and this is a bit of an introduction about myself. I am an HR. I'm a recruiter, in fact, and I have been a recruiter for almost 9 years now. Super excited with my job. I love what I do. I love what I bring to the organization that I'm associated with. It's something that I always wanted to do, and I think that was bringing in exceptional talent into the organization. So as my first video, I thought that I wanted to focus on resume writing. I know a lot of people struggle with resume writing, and I think it happens with the fact that people are not too keen on writing their resumes, or they don't know how to go about writing their resumes, or what are the pointers they need to keep in mind when they are creating their resume. So which is why I thought I would and this is a perspective of an HR, and obviously someone who looks at resumes day in and day out. So my job involves looking at resumes almost on a daily basis, and if I were to give you an example, I look at about close to 10 to 15 resumes every day. And I think it also is because a lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn, asking me if there are any relevant opportunities in the organization I'm associated with, and which is why I thought that I wanted to create something that addresses this. So to start off with, and this is a very important it's a fact, and you can research on it as well. A recruiter spends exactly 7 seconds screening a resume, and there is a reason behind that. The reason is that it's not that we are doing a shoddy job, or we are not kind of putting our effort into finding right talent. It's not the case. The case is that we need to be efficient when we are screening resumes. We get a ton of resumes. We have to be quick about it, and which is why we have learned the art to screen a resume, and we know what are the things that captures our attention, and if the resume is relevant to the job opening or no. So these are the things that I'm going to share with you, and it's so important to focus on your resume, because that is the first impression that you make on a recruiter, and it's like make or break kind of a situation, right? And you need to ensure that you're able to gather their attention for a little more than 7 seconds. So in order to do that, make sure that you follow the next steps. So first up, and very important, a lot of students tend to do this, is that they create really lengthy resumes. Guys, don't do that, because there's no point. I have seen students sharing resumes which are like 4-5 pages long. There is no need to do that, because we know, as recruiters, obviously we understand that you are coming with absolutely no experience, and there is no point in you faking it as well. So don't do that. Avoid doing that. The thumb rule is that for the first 10 years of your experience, you need to stick to one page, and if you go beyond 10 years, then you get another page added. But yeah, stick to one page and you should be sorted. The other most important thing is formatting, and I did speak about this in another forum. But what I want to tell you is that it doesn't matter if it is a vertical format or a horizontal format. And what I mean by vertical is people tend to divide their page or their resume by half, into half in the middle, and then they write stuff on the left and they write stuff on the right. What it looks is very cluttered, and I'll be very honest, as a recruiter, and if I'm looking at resumes, I have to be quick. I have that limited time in which I need to absorb as much information as possible. So a vertical resume, what it's doing is it's making it more difficult for me to absorb that information, right? So if it is horizontal, which means write it like this and not like that, it makes more sense. Sorry, I didn't explain that well, but make sure that your resume is not cluttered. There should be enough breathing space on your resume, and don't fill it. Like, don't make it, don't try to fill it. We know that you have limited experience or whatever experience you have, but make sure that there is enough breathing space. The next and very important thing, which again students tend to do a lot, they add a lot of colors on their resume. And I know they want to probably make it look beautiful and colorful and make it stand out, but what it's doing is it's doing the exact opposite. It is not doing any of that. It doesn't look professional. It looks clumsy. It looks like a rainbow, and you don't want that. You don't want to lose an opportunity just because you used a lot of colors. So if you want to stick to a color, stick to one color. It could be one primary color. I have seen a resume and I really loved one of the resumes that I saw recently. It was, so the primary color was purple, and I don't mean the entire resume was purple, but the headings of each of the sections were purple, the name, the email ID, and it was beautifully done up. So purple is a great color, red is a great color, green, blue is very common again. So stick to one color, don't add too many colors to it. It looks like a rainbow, so avoid that. Grammatical errors, this was something that I wanted to cover in the end, but make sure that there are no grammatical errors in your resume. There are plenty of apps out there who help you check on this. So there is an app called Grammarly. I use that quite often. Make sure that you use it. It's free. You can put in your resume. It will tell you what are the grammatical errors, and you're sorted. Because grammatical errors are the biggest enemy of a recruiter. That's the first thing that they see when they look at the resume. So make sure that you do that from your side. The next one being, and very important, and this is a personal request from my side, guys, don't put your personal information on the resume. Please avoid that at all costs, because we don't live, I mean, the world is a bad place, right? We know what's going on. I think everybody's aware of it. Everybody watches Netflix. But what you're doing is, I have seen so many people put in their addresses, they put their marital status, they even put their wives and children's name on it. Why do you want to do that? Like, why are you giving an opportunity to someone and to come and harm you in some way or the other? So again, a thumb rule is your phone number and your email ID is more than enough. It should suffice. You don't need to give any other details about where you live, your other details. So not required at all. This one again is a very interesting one, and I'm going to cover both from a fresher and an experienced person's point of view. The summary. So again, the summary is basically a snippet of what you do as a person, or what you've been doing in your in your work experience, and it's just 2 or 3 sentences long, right? Summary generally does not apply to a fresher, because again, you're coming with absolutely no experience, and even if the experience that you have is probably internship or maybe a part-time that you have picked up, so summary does not apply to you. Yes, if you can come up with like a really amazing kick-ass summary, something which is really beautiful and unique, go for it. But if you cannot, and if you're just simply going to copy it from everybody in your class, then I would say avoid it. Summary again is very important for people who come with certain experience, because like I said, it gives a snippet. So let me actually read my summary and this is my summary from my own resume. It says, a competent professional with 6+ years of experience in university recruiting, extensive background in talent acquisition, vendor management, pre-campus engagement, post-campus engagement, and campus branding. So expertise in strategizing long-term directions by forecasting future manpower requirements. So this is like in a nutshell of what my summary looks like. I haven't updated it. It still says 6 years. It should be 9 years now. But yeah, so this is just a snippet of what a summary should look like, right? A very important thing, and again, a lot of students tend to do this, is they mention their 10th and 12th marks and their schooling details. Not required. HSC and SSC details are not required at all. Please avoid it. You just skip it. We just need your graduation details, and a lot of colleges, a lot of companies obviously want to see the CGPA. So make sure that you put the correct CGPA. And when I say correct CGPA, some colleges give out CGPA on the basis of 5, while some give it out on the basis of 10. So if your college gives out your CGPA on the basis of 5, make sure that you convert it into a 10 and then put it there. because a lot of companies, that is the bar that they have inbuilt. So it's like they will assess you on the basis of 10. So make sure that you do that correct conversion. There is a formula out there. You can probably check it out and research on it on how to kind of convert that, but make sure that you convert that into 10. The last two things, and I'll be quick, you don't need graphs and fancy pie diagrams and pie charts and Venn diagrams. Nothing of that sort is required when you're working on, when you're creating your resume. You don't have to make it fancy with all the bells and whistles. Don't do that. Avoid it. Just keep it plain and simple. And very important, hyperlink all the links on your resume. So I'm sure there'll be a GitHub link, a LinkedIn link. Make sure that you hyperlink all of that, because it just shows that your resume is technically sound. So it shows that, okay, you've come prepared. There are everything that you could have possibly done is done on the resume, right? So these are just some of the tips that I wanted to share. There will be a part 2 of this, resume tips and tricks that I will be sharing. I will be creating pretty soon, and I will be probably posting it next week. I think I just wanted to, get a sense of, what I'm creating. Does it make sense? Is it something that people would like to see? And maybe basically me assessing the audience here. So feel free to let me know if there are any questions in the comment section, and I will be covering that in the next video. The next video and the part 2 of this would predominantly focus on what actually goes in the resume. So what I talked about just now is just the formatting, how to make it look nice, presentable. But part 2 will talk more about what each of the headings are, what goes under each of the headings, what are the things that you need to write, under experience, your internship, your achievements, all of that, and how you present all of that. So watch out for this space more. I will be back in another couple of days, hopefully. And in the meantime, you can like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much. Bye.